So dear students, welcome to the next lecture of Newton's law for JEE Main, NEET and JEE Advanced. And today I will discuss about a very important concept, that is normal reaction. In the previous class, I have told you about some contact force, and among them this normal reaction is very important. That this reaction force or this normal force is very useful for problem solving purpose of Newton's law. So now today I will discuss about this normal reaction in great detail, and from the very fundamental thing, the why this normal reaction is appear in the system, what is the direction of this normal reaction, what should be the magnitude of this normal reaction. About all this thing I will discuss in this video. Okay, and in the next video I will continue about this normal reaction, and that class I will give you some application of this normal reaction that will lead you to very easy for problem solving purpose. Okay, but this class is a very fundamental and basic concept about normal reaction that you can understand in very better way, I can assure you. Okay, so please see the video up to the end and pay attention to learn something new. Okay, so let me discuss about this thing, normal reaction. And to analyze the normal reaction, let me take these examples or this figure that you can see over here on the board. Okay, so at first let me take this figure where on a table a book is placed. When in a table a book is placed, on a table a book is placed, then this book will give a force on the table. So according to Newton's third law, this table will also exert a force, that is F, that is the same force. You know the action reaction require an opposite. So here the action is that the book will give a force on this table, so the table will react with the same force, that is capital F. Though I will discuss about this Newton's third law in great detail, but now it is sufficient to know that the action and reaction are equal and opposite, that you might have studied in your previous class also, so there is no problem. Okay, but if you investigate the cause of this force, that is nothing but the mg, that is the weight of this object here, the weight of this book. Okay, so if there is a mass m, then the weight will be mg, like this. So in that case the exerted force on the table, or you can say on the floor, is mg. So the floor will react with the same force, that is F, I have given here, but this F is popularly known as capital N, and this N is equal to mg in this case. But it is not necessary that always this N is equal to mg. I will discuss this thing. Sometimes this N will be greater than mg, this N will be less than mg. But for a certain time you can assume that this is the thing for your better understanding. Okay, initially you can take that N is equal to mg with this analogy. Okay, if you take this analogy, that is when a object is placed on a table, then the table will exert a force that is due to the weight of this object, that is mg. Okay, so there is no problem. So by analogy with this, we can write over here this F as N and this F as mg. So in that case F is equal to mg, but it is not necessary that always N is equal to mg. I will discuss this later on. And not only this, you can see from this figure that there is no relation between N and mg. Here if the block is on a horizontal surface and the vertical force is like this, in that case N is equal to mg, sometime N is greater than mg, sometime N is less than mg. So N is related somehow with mg, but there will be certain cases when N will not anyhow depend on mg, that the normal reaction is not necessarily be always with the direct relation with the weight of the object. It depends on how the object is contact with the surfaces, because this is actually contact force. So the force will arise only when the surfaces are contact each other, or the surface of the block or the object will contact on the surface of some table or some wall, etc., or some floor, etc. Okay, so it depends on the contact, the way of contact. Okay, here you can see that the contact is with the wall. So if we give a force on this object, that force will exert on the wall. So wall will exert a normal reaction in the opposite direction. So this N will be equal to F. Or you can say that there is a relation between this N and F. There is no relation with mg. But there is certain force over here also, that is the frictional force that will balance this mg. We will not discuss over here. That is the frictional force we will discuss later. But let us assume that don't take into consideration in this frictional force. Okay, we will discuss later on. But if we ignore the frictional force, then you can say there is no relation between this N and mg. Okay, so you can see from this figure that if the block is at rest or the book is at rest on a table, then the normal reaction are opposite and equal. Here these two forces are equal and opposite. That is in the form of, you can say, N is equal to mg, or in the form that is N is equal to F. Okay, so it depends on how the contact is occur, okay, with the fluid and with the surface of the object. So it depends on the that factor. Okay, in which direction the normal reaction will occur, it will depend, or the normal reaction will equal to, or with which force, it will depend always the contact surface, how the object is contact with the surface. It is not necessary that it will always equal to mg or something like that weight force. Okay, so this is a very basic understanding that you need to know. Now the next question is that by nature what this force will fall in which category. That I have discussed earlier, that the four fundamental interaction, and I have said there that all the forces that you will discuss or you will encounter or the arises in mechanics will fall into any one of the category of four fundamental forces. And here this normal reaction is actually, by nature it is an electromagnetic force. It is an electromagnetic force. Why it is an electromagnetic force? Because this normal reaction is nothing but contact force. So when two surfaces are contact each other, actually the atoms are contact each other. The atoms will contact each other. So there is something charge due to which the forces arises. So this is basically by nature or by origin, you can say this is an electromagnetic force. Okay. So this is one type of fundamental interaction, and the fundamental interaction is electromagnetic interaction. But we will not discuss details about that thing, because we don't need here this origin, how this is electromagnetic force, why it is electromagnetic force, how it is appear from the atomic or molecular force. We will not discuss over here. This is the not of topic of discussion of that kind of thing. Here we will discuss about the direction of normal reaction. Here we will discuss about the magnitude of normal reaction, and you can say that it is something like the electromagnetic interaction. That's it. Okay, you don't need to understand better than this about these things, that is why it is electromagnetic force or something like that. But what we want to know here is very important with respect to the motion of the object. What this normal reaction actually is. If we want to analyze this normal reaction force with respect to motion. If you look carefully in each and every object, then you can see a very fundamental thing. That is, if there is no fluid, the object or the block will move downwards. It will be moving downwards if the fluid is not over here. Similarly, this object will also moving downward. This object will move in this direction. Similarly, if there is a glue like this, and if you pull the object outward direction, then this glue will attract it in downward direction. So this is also one kind of reaction force, and normal reaction you can say. But in all the cases, you can see a very fundamental thing, that if the block, if there is no fluid or no wall like this, no table like this, then the motion of the object will be downwards, or here in this direction, because the force is acting in this direction. So it is a very fundamental thing that in which direction the force will be applied, that direction the object will move. So it is very fundamental thing. But the motion of the object is somehow restricted by this thing. Okay, the motion of the object is restricted by this fluid, by this table, or by this wall, or by this glue. So in each and every case, somehow the motion of the object is restricted, and you can see that the normal reaction is acting in that direction. In which direction the motion is restricted, the normal reaction is acting opposite direction of that. So here you can see that the normal reaction is always acting in that direction, opposite to that direction, in which direction the motion is restricted. Here the motion is restricted downward direction, so the normal reaction is upward direction. Here also the motion is restricted downward direction, so the normal reaction is upward direction. Here the motion is restricted toward horizontal direction, so the normal reaction is opposite to this. Here also the motion is restricted to upward direction, so the normal reaction is downward direction. So from these things we can conclude that it is a constraint force. This is very important language. This is the language of advanced classical mechanics, that is constraint force, because this is due to the constraint motion, and constraints mean restriction. The motion is somehow restricted, and the normal reaction or the normal forces appear due to that restriction. So we can call as constraint force, that is the force due to restriction. Okay, so we can say it is a constraint force and it acts in a direction opposite to the direction in which the motion is constrained. Opposite direction in which the motion is constrained. So motion is constant downwards. So here the normal reaction or this constant force is acting upward. And in all the four cases you can see. Okay, so this is a constant motion. Now the case is this normal reaction is equal to mg or something, or equal to F always, or this F will be equal to this F always or not. And that's depend on actually the degree of constraints. How much restricted the motion is, it will depend on completely on that. Okay, so the last thing is its magnitude depends on degree to which the motion of body is constrained. Up to which degree the motion is constrained, how much constrained the motion is. Okay, so if there is, the object is at rest, so obviously n is equal to mg, because in that case these two forces should be equal and opposite. Only in that case the object will be at rest. So if we assume that all the cases the object is at rest, then of course this applied force is equal to normal reaction. So the motion is completely constrained, you can say. But if the motion is free like this, if the motion of the object is free, then this m will fall down with the gravitational acceleration g, that is 9.8 meter per second square. But as soon as you restrict the motion by this types of flow or something like that, the net force will be 0 and the motion is constant. Here there is no constraint, so no constant force is there, so there is no n, that is n is equal to 0 here. Why n is equal to 0 here? Because the motion is not restricted, there is no restriction, there is no constraint of the motion, so the constant force should not appear. So the normal reaction is 0 here. So this contact force is actually nothing but the constraint force, and we will see the other contact force, that is tensional force, is also one kind of constraint force. We will discuss when we will discuss about the tensional force. This contact force here in the form of contact force which is appeared, it is just due to the restriction of the motion. So you can say this is the constraint force. So here there is, you can say there is no contact with the surface, so normal reaction is 0. This is the one aspect of thinking these things, as normal reaction is contact force, so here is no contact with the ground or something like that, fluid, etc. So the normal reaction should be 0. Here also, but here the case is different. Here the motion is restricted on a floor, or you can say there is a contact between the floor and the object, so there should appear this normal reaction. Or you can say this motion is restricted or is constrained by the floor, so there should be appeared a constant force, and that is in the form of normal reaction. So you can understand it as it is just a contact force, or more advanced way you can understand that it is a constraint force. It is better to understand that it is a constant force, that all the things will be clear. So you can understand this normal reaction as a constraint force. So here the constant force is appear, and as the motion of the object is 0, so no motion, that is the velocity is 0, so n will must be equal to mg. There is no acceleration, so n will must be mg. So here the restriction force or constant force or the normal reaction will must be equal to mg. But if we release the system somehow, if we release the system somehow or a little bit with an acceleration a, then what will be the thing? Then it is under constraint but less constraint than this. If this system is now released, here this is actually the standing platform, you can say. This is a rest platform, so the object is at rest here. But if this platform is moving with some acceleration a, and let me suppose that this acceleration a is less than g. Okay, so if g is 9.8 meter per second square, so let me take a is 3 meter per second square. So if a is 3 meter per second square, then you can say this motion is less constrained with respect to this motion, but it's constrained with respect to this motion because this is the free motion, so there is no constraint. But here is constraint. Here is constraint, and that's why this n will appear. But here there is an acceleration in downward direction, so the system is released somehow, okay, with some acceleration, not 9.8 meter per second square, not so free, but somehow a little bit free, you can say. as you can say this, if this a is 3 meter per second square, with respect to this the acceleration of this object is less, but with comparison this case the acceleration will be more. So you can say with respect to this is constant motion, this is under constraint, but with respect to this it is less constraint. So here if the normal reaction n is equal to mg, so here this n dash should not equal to mg, because here the motion is completely restricted. So here the constant force n is appear, but here it is less constraint, so this force is less than this n. Here the motion is completely constrained, so if this n is equal to mg, but this is not completely constrained, this is a little bit free. So with that respect this n dash should be less than this n, because I have said earlier that its magnitude depends on degree to which the motion of body is constrained. So here the degree of restriction or the degree of constraint is less with respect to this, so n dash will be less. And this is a similar case of motion of lift. We will discuss in this case after giving the concept of Newton's second law. With the equation of motion we can analyze that this n dash is less than mg, because this n dash is actually less than capital N, because here the degree of constant is less, and you feel this thing when you moving downwards with a lift, then you will feel less weight than your actual weight. So if your actual weight is mg, then this n dash will be less mg. This must be, and you will feel these things in lift. We will discuss this thing again when we will discuss about motion of lift. But with the concept of constant force or the constant motion, you can understand it, that this n dash will not be equal to n. That means this n dash will not be equal to mg, because here the constant is less, so the constant force will be less than this. So this is under constraint, but here you can say this is over constraint. So here instead of downward direction it will be upward direction. The motion of this object or the acceleration is upward direction. So not only it restricted, the motion is not only restricted completely, but also it is given a direction opposite to the actual motion. So it is over constrained. So here the degree of constant is more than this or this. So here this n double prime should be greater than this n dash or this n. You can say this n. We will compare with respect to this n always. So this n double prime is always greater than n, that is n double prime will greater than mg. And how much greater it is, how much less it is, we will discuss these things by using Newton's law. But here it is sufficient to say that this n double prime is greater than n and this n dash is less than s. This is only because of the fact that the constraint is more over here, constraint is less over here than this, and constraint is more over here than this. And as the magnitude depends on the degree to which the body is constrained, so here the degree of constant is more, so n double prime is more. Here the degree of constant is less, so n dash is less. Here this is completely restricted, so n is equal to mg because there is no motion. So n should be equal to mg. Okay, so this is all about the basic things of normal reaction, and as a constraint force you can understand it very easily. And always the direction will be what? The direction will be in which the motion is constant, opposite to the direction in which the motion is constant. This is very important. And what is the magnitude? Magnitude, it depends on the degree to which the body is constant. So you can understand the origin of this normal reaction due to contact or due to electromagnetic force. But most important, what you have to understand is what should be the direction of this normal reaction. And this normal direction of the normal reaction can easily understand by using the concept of constraint, that it is always opposite to the constraint, opposite to the constant motion, opposite to the direction in which the motion is constant. And its magnitude will be always depend on the degree to which the motion of the body is constant, how much constant it is. If it is more constant, then the constant force will be more. If it is less constant, then the constant force will be less. Okay, now we will apply this concept in the next class in various kind of situation. Then the thing will be more clear to you, and you can apply all the things in your problems very easily. Okay, thank you.